This is GVTV, originating from Grand Valley State University in Allendale, Michigan.
Pretty urban Allendale, you're in Grand Alley with Gregory Struss. I'm Jonathan Taylor, inviting you to party with us for the next half hour as we hang out with WKLQ Morning Zoo's own Darla Jaye and the musical savant, Swamp Dogg. Now here's a man whose big chin is only matched by his big heart, Gregory Struss!
Yay! Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. John Taylor, a real man. One of the many beautiful people that television just chock full of. Thank you, John.
Greg. Right back at ya.
You know, John, it's been a woolly week around the offices here. We had a new group of studio technicians in. What happened to those guys?
Well, Greg, we ran out of free food and there just wasn't enough space for them to sleep.
So they just disappeared, John?
Actually, no, they just moved back up to the WCKS office.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to thank the students of Media 3. Let's hear it for the students of Media 3, because without their assistance, we would never have been able to assemble a fine show in such a timely manner.
Yes, beautiful TV people, each and every one of them, Greg.
Yes, they are. You know, thank you, folks. You know, at this time of the year, as more and more freshly scrubbed faces wend their way through the concourses of graduation.
I can't do that.
John, what?
Just do it, clown.
I can't do that.
What, John? What's going on over here?
It's this guy. He says he's the creative consultant from the Student Senate Public Relations Committee.
What are they doing?
That's right. I'm the creative consultant. We can't be too careful about who we're doling our money out to. So I'm just going to stand here and watch you do your monologue.
Oh, okay. So, like I was saying, lots of graduates listen to long, boring speeches.
Was that a joke? I don't hear any laughing.
Well, that's because you interrupted the flow. Comedy is all about timing.
Uh-huh. Well, I just don't think it was very funny. Do a joke about dogs.
Okay, this guy walks into a bar with a poodle under each arm.
I've heard that one. Do something different. Fall down, lick my feet.
No. Floor manager, get him out of here. You know, how did this guy get in here in the first place?
He's in charge, Greg.
No, he's not. This is a team effort. We're all in this for the long haul. Now get him out of here.
You ought to do what he says. We don't have time for this bit anyway.
No, you know, find someone to get him out of here.
Come here, little man. Greg's mom got snacks.
Mike and Shannon, ladies and gentlemen, real television people. Beautiful television. Time's up. Well, darn it, it was going so well, too. This week, we thank everyone for joining us in the studio audience. Darla Jaye from KLQ's Morning Zoo will be here. And the music of, what is it, the musical savant? Is that right, Shannon? Savant. What exactly is savant?
The musical savant. I guess he, I don't know. He's been doing it a lot.
Doing it a lot?
Yeah, doing
savant.
it a lot, yeah.
Swamp Dogg will be performing for us throughout the show. Hey. And if you combine that with the wittiest of wit and repartee, we'll have ourselves an Emmy in no time. Okay, John, tell us how the folks can write in and get tickets to the show. John Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, kids. It's really simple. Just write into Grand Alley with Greg Struss, GVTV, School of Comm, GVSU in Allendale, Michigan, 49401. Tell them you're a distant relative of Greg's and you're in. And now, back to Greg.
We are back. Thank you so much. And we have all throughout the show. Let's hear it for Swamp Dogg. He'll be playing all throughout the show. Okay, we're kind of excited here. Our first guest is the most outrageous of outrageous morning radio personalities that hit the airwaves here in Grand Rapids, and we're elated that she agreed to spend some time with us here. What can we say but Ms. Darla Jaye from KLQ. How are you, darling?
How are you?
Good. Nice to see you too. Isn't this kind of a nice touch to have Swamp Dog playing?
Music to come into. I kind of enjoyed that.
Do you do a lot of that on your show? You don't do a lot of that on
whenever
your
I come
show.
into the studio, there's always music playing. I don't know how that works out. Maybe because it's radio. I don't know.
That they always have all that magic.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it is magic every morning.
Now, first of all, we want to welcome you to Grand Alley, and in the bigger spectrum, welcome to Grand Valley.
Thank you.
This isn't the first time you were out here. Chad and I were out the other day at the Afterwards Coffee House, and we were talking with one of the police officers, and we said, well, Darla Jaye's coming on the show. And what they ended up saying was that, oh, she did this drunken exercise for us a few months ago or something,
No,
or
it
a
was
few years ago?
A few years ago.
So explain that a
Five
little
years
bit.
ago. I had just moved here, and Grand Valley was doing something to try to show kids that they shouldn't drink and drive. Show the effects of 1 drink, 2 drinks, 3 drinks. And they called me and they asked me if I wanted to come out and be their guinea pig. So I came out here, and what they did was they would give me 1 drink of vodka, and then they'd have me do things like, walk the line and do the alphabet, and then they'd give me another one, and then they'd give me another one. Well, meanwhile, I was doing
And
this.
another.
And
And
another.
another.
I'll have another. Meanwhile, they were doing this on the radio, too. So I would call back like every 20 minutes. Well, the last break, I said, there's no way I could drive right now. I mean, everybody just sat and watched me get drunk. I heard this police officer said I was a fun drunk.
Are you? Do you think you are?
Well, that's what all the boys say.
And when we talk about, you've been with KLQ since around, was it 89, 90
Yes,
in that area?
89. Mhm.
And have you been working with Rick Becca for most of that time, or?
All that time.
All of that time.
Right. It's been a really, really long time.
Now, a lot of times in the entertainment industry, there's people who work together, either on television or in radio, and
Right.
they appear that they get along and they're laughing so hard.
No,
at
but
each
we don't
other's
even
stuff.
appear that we get along. I mean, if you
Do
listen
you
to our
get
show.
along? Do you feel you two get along?
Well,
or
I'll
on a more personal note, do you two get along?
Yes and no. I have always said that Rick is the funniest person that I've ever met in my life. And thank God, because he has no other redeeming qualities. What you hear on our show, people always ask me, is he exactly like he is on the air when he's off the air? Well, he's worse, because on the air at least, we have a boss listening who'll say, no, don't do that. We need this radio station. When you hear us fighting on the show, we're actually fighting. But the one thing that we can do is put whatever disagreements we have behind us at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and we don't bring them back into the show the next day.
Really, you've never had that problem of, do you ever
Not
call each
really.
other at home and say, look, you were very difficult today, or I really like that idea, or?
We don't talk as much as we used to, because Rick should have a phone surgically attached to his ear. He sits at home at night and makes a lot of phone calls, and usually he'd call me at 10, and I'd always be sleeping, so I got real annoyed with that. Once in a while, we talk about the show at night, but rarely. Usually we talk about it right after we get done.
When you talk about the show, how do you prepare each show? I mean, here, you've done some TV with,
Right.
with some of the things at Fox and 13 and some of the telethons. What kind of planning goes into the show? Do you two sit down together and come up?
Well, actually, it's all 3 of us.
Collectively,
It's
or?
Scott, Rick, and I, and thank God for Scott, because I would say that Rick and I are the creative ones, and Scott is very anal retentive, and you need somebody like that on a show, because somebody has to keep you doing the things that you have to do, so when you get off on a tangent, oh God, I still have to talk about this promotion that we're doing.
Sounds like my problem.
Yeah, every day after we get off the air, we either meet with amongst ourselves and talk about what we want to talk about tomorrow. We have a one sheet that tells us the promotions we have to talk about, gives us a couple of ideas. But if something big happens overnight, then that's out the window. And then we just go with it. We don't plan what we're going to say. We don't have a script where, okay, Rick, you talk now, I'll talk now, Scott, you talk now. That's not how it works.
Okay.
It's pretty much all ad lib.
All right, when we return, I guess they're giving us our cue. We have to go away to a break, or for our break, we're going to take a look at one of our swell remote pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll be back with Darla Jaye. Stick around. Well, we've traveled to Lowell, Michigan. It's the heartland of Michigan, and we're at Garbit Graham's farm. Now, Garbit is a pretty well-known artist in the area. A lot of this work is portrayed on his buildings here. We're going to talk to Garbit and find out how he got involved in some of this stuff. So the farming brought out the artwork in you, or the artist in you?
Well, the artist in me was inspired, I guess, by some of the artists I'd seen. Vincent van Gogh, I guess, was a great inspiration for everybody.
Now, he wasn't the one that cut off his ear, was he?
Yeah, Vince, yeah.
Now, do you go all over town with this chainsaw and start creating some kind of massacre, or what? Garbit, we notice a theme here going on the farm. A lot of your pictures and artwork deal with cows and farming things, and we also notice some stars. Is there an astrological interest there? I mean, are you into astrology?
Well, yeah. I've studied the Greeks, and the Greeks have always been in astrology. The Greeks, I suppose, they named the galaxy the Milky Way galaxy, and that might be why, you know, the cows and the galaxy go together, because we'd call it the Milky Way galaxy. I'd say the Greeks have a lot to do with what's going on around here on my farm. What else can I think of? The Greeks, they seem to have known everything, knew everything about Christ and religion. And
You think they could help me out with Math 110?
Math 110.
That's algebra.
Yeah, they'd probably have a computer that could help.
We also notice on a lot of the walls of the barns and such that there's Indians. Is that, do Indians play a particular role in your life?
I don't know what to say, but you are right. There are Indians. Here's a painting of an Indian. This is an Indian brave, I would say. And my own explanation is that Indians owned this land before us Europeans, us white men came. The Indians were here. And so now you really don't see the way the Indians were thousands of years ago.
A few years from now, when you pass on, what would you like people to remember about you and your artwork?
Make a go out of life if you can. If you can.
We're back talking with Darla Jaye from KLQ's Morning Zoo Show. And have you ever featured someone like, you have people like Garbit on sometimes, don't you?
Yes, we do, and they're always fascinating, aren't they?
And what do you think of Garbit?
I think that he has a lot of important things to say to somebody. How was that?
Okay, that was good. We covered ourselves. This is not your first visit to a university. Obviously, you went to college. You have
Right.
some college
I didn't get a
training.
degree.
Okay.
I went to Simpson College in Indianola, Iowa, and I was a music major, theater minor, and I decided that
Feedback was very important.
Oh,
right?
feedback is very good. Yeah, I think feedback is, it's always good to get feedback. That way you know what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and that was wrong. I went to college, I studied opera. I was going to be the next Barbra Streisand with a better nose, and I didn't like it. I was at this college, it was in a little tiny farm town in Iowa, and I'd come from Minneapolis, lived in downtown Minneapolis, and it was, I didn't like it.
Now, you were in the Twin Cities.
Right.
So you were kind of like this aspiring Mary Tyler Moore type, or?
Well, yeah, except I never wore hats like that. I never threw a hat
You
up
never
in the
threw a
street
hat
in
up there?
Minneapolis.
Would
Never.
you like? Does anyone have a hat that possibly she can throw?
Could I try it?
Oh wait, I think we have one right here. Here we are. All right, she's. Hang on a minute. You're gonna
Make it after all.
Are we ready? There she is.
What do you think?
So you go from Minneapolis to Indiana. Is
Right.
that correct?
Right.
And all of a sudden you go from Indianapolis to Grand
No, it
Rapids?
wasn't Indianapolis. That would have been nice. I would have stayed there probably. But I was in Lafayette, Indiana, where Purdue University is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was living, the radio station was on the edge of a cornfield. So I kind of had this thing with cornfields, with college and with this radio station. I was there for 2 years. And it was a long haul. It was a station without any money that, you know, we had to make up promotions that didn't cost anything, and we all went everywhere because we couldn't afford to pay people to do stuff.
Sounds like our show.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. So, see, I'm always glad to help somebody because I know that there is a next step. There is. I mean, after that, that was the longest 2 years of my life, and this has been the longest 5 years of my life. So maybe that's just how it goes in radio. I don't know.
Have you ever thought about doing some TV? I know you've
Yeah.
done some TV with the.
I've done a lot of telethons. I've probably done about 15 telethons since I've been here, and
Aren't they fun?
yeah, well, yeah, actually, yes, some more than others. It's, you know, if it's for a good cause, I think it's fun to do. But boy, as you know, live TV, anything can happen.
I'd like to work my way into doing that. So I've done
To telethons?
I've done my. I want to go 24 hours a day. I think we could have a telethon channel. I think we
I
already
think
have
so.
that, don't we? We have one of those in Grand
Yeah,
Rapids.
it's called QVC.
Oh, that's right. What's left now for KLQ in the Morning Zoo Show? Are you renewed on a yearly basis or on a?
We
do
don't
you
have a
contract?
contract, which probably isn't wise of them. They've never asked us. We've never brought it up. I'm happy here, and we are pretty much at this point given free rein to test the limits. You know, when we go over the edge, we are reined back in pretty darn quickly. But I would stay here until I found what I would consider the right job. You know,
And what's
double
that?
the salary,
What's
limo
that?
to work.
Susie and Jiha's job? You want that one?
No,
You get to work with Tom.
because I'm
Vanhouse,
not
don't you?
that sincere. Okay.
Well, we thank you for coming in tonight. We know that you get up quite early in the morning.
Yes, I do.
And you're going to hang out as we listen
Oh,
to
I'd
the
love
musical
to.
savant of Swamp Dogg. And he's coming up after you look at this. Stay with us. Each year, arthritis inflicts millions of people. We're on location at the Meadows Golf Course here at Grand Valley State University because our fine school, in association with the Arthritis Foundation, is sponsoring a golf outing. Now, a little later on, we're going to have the opportunity to talk with some of the people responsible for today's outing. We'll be talking with some of the people associated with the Michigan Whitecaps, Michigan State University, and Dr. Lubbers, who's the president of our university. But we can only get to that stuff once we're done battling the lawnmowers, the golf carts, and everything else in these sand traps. So hopefully all the years of watching Price is Right is going to pay off. You remember that, Brian, don't you? A hole-in-one. Not. Let's take a look at some of the folks behind today's activities. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the outing today and what it means for Grand Valley.
Well, I think it started with Don Lubbers as being the honorary chairman of the Arthritis Foundation, and then he had asked me to host the tournament and get some, local celebrities and college coaches and actually some professional sports people as well. So it was a great opportunity for me to get involved with a worthy cause and get a chance for the Meadows to get some play. I think the one thing I like about this is that we brought together not just football coaches, but basketball coaches, baseball, hockey, and because coaching is teaching and working with young men and women, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to get together other than just being in our sport all season. So that's why we're hoping this becomes an annual event.
How's Michigan State's involvement with the Arthritis Foundation been? Is this pretty much the first time around?
Well, it is for me, and yet, since I just took the head job, I guess it's going to be something I hope to stay involved with, but it's a great situation, and I think it'll be a great organization, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
How did the Whitecaps get involved with today's golf outing?
Well, I think we've been involved in a number of ways with the Arthritis Foundation and Sandy Frost Parish, and so when they called looking for somebody from our organization to play out here, we were ready to respond.
And can you tell us a little bit about how Grand Valley got involved with the Arthritis Foundation?
Well, our students have been very much involved in it, and Some of them came in to see me. Kelly Burns came in to see me and asked whether we would participate, so here we are participating.
Well, overall, it turned out to be a pretty successful day with all the pros playing better than they imagined. If you can, remember to donate to the Arthritis Foundation. They do a lot of great work. If you want to volunteer or even give some money, we'll give you some more of that information towards the end of the show. And speaking of which, we should probably get back to the studio. We'll see you in a minute. Yes, the musical savant of Swamp Dogg. We'll be talking with him in just a second. What did you feel about the... You weren't out there for the golf outing.
No, but I've done a lot of things with the Arthritis Foundation, and it's a good organization. He did a fine job.
And as they say, when you don't know the number, call the station and find out where to write and send money for these
Absolutely.
people. Okay. Our next guest has been playing the piano since age 4 for about the last 16 years or so. He's been playing professionally. He has an upcoming CD, which he'll be telling us about after his performance. But for now, please welcome the musical, is it Savant, John?
It's Savant.
Swamp Dogg!
Born in a railroad yard, Daddy used to say, oh, you're gonna end up working hard if you don't know how to play. Well, I got me a pine top right by then, Mama danced away. Swamp boogie, Mama, swamp boogie all damn day. Swamp boogie, baby, swamp boogie lady, swamp boogie, Mama, Mama, do you wanna swamp boogie children, swamp boogie all day long. All day long, mama's in the kitchen with the pots and pans. Daddy's out fishing and drinking again. Everyone's looking for Sister Sue. Little brother Joe ain't gone to school. I'll be dancing round, sipping swamp juice wine. Swamp boogie mama, swamp boogie all the time. Swamp boogie baby, swamp boogie lady, swamp boogie mama. Mama, do you wanna swamp boogie children, swamp boogie all day long. Let's boogie wild. Woo! In my shack, way out back, happy as can be. Got my piano, got my wine, got my sanity. Well, I'm going back home, won't be long. Do come along with me. Swamp boogie mama, swamp boogie, set me free now. Swamp boogie baby, swamp boogie lady, swamp boogie mama, mama, do you wanna swamp boogie children, swamp boogie all night. Swamp boogie children, swamp boogie all right. Swamp boogie mama, swamp boogie all night long. Thank you.
How are you? Good. Welcome to the show. You know Darla?
Hey, hi, Darla. Good to see you.
The musical savant. Now, that seems to be tonight's word, musical savant. Can you explain?
Savant.
John tells that, what does it mean? It means doing it often. Is that correct?
I think it's a wine they make back at home. Sounds like to me, red savant, white savant.
White savant, or a bourgeon, or something like that. You've been playing since, and when we were talking, you said you were playing since the age of 4.
Yes. Yeah, I started playing in church and played the drums for a while there and the piano. And a few years back, I lost my wife and son in an accident, and I started playing blues music. And I've been doing that for about 6 years now.
And do you feel the blues is a good way to work through things, or?
Yeah, I think it's a real good outlet. I still play in church now and then, and I play in blues clubs around town, and it's a very good outlet, very good.
And in 1980, you were nominated for a Grammy Award.
Yes.
With the
New Sonics Orchestra.
Where is that? Where's the New Sonics?
Oh, the New
Wasn't
Sonics.
that the group you used to sing with?
Yeah, yeah. The Bubonics.
The Bubonics. Oh, that was
the
it.
Bubonics.
Okay. There was a plague about it.
It was yeah.
Okay. The New Sonics were what?
New Sonics, yeah. It was a polka band.
and I was playing drums. And that's what I did when I was a kid. And we got nominated for a Grammy. We were in Canada at the time on the road, and we found that out, and we sold a few records and came back home. And that band lasted for a while, and everybody went their own ways. And the trumpet player is on cruises now doing that for a living. And the accordion player, he became a teacher, I believe.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you.
Thank you.
We're leaving. Is that correct? Okay. Well, you're going to play us out, right?
Sure.
Let's hear for Swamp Dog. He's going to play
Okay,
us out. Now, can I start with you? Thank you, sir. Greg Struss, Darla, thank you for being with us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Hey, the show's over, but we'd love to hear from you. What did you think? Write us in care of Grand Alley with Gregory Struss, GVTV, School of Communications, Lake Superior Hall, Grand Valley State University, Allendale, Michigan 49401. Thanks for watching.